Hello and welcome to Wild Free Van C. If you're new to the channel, my name is Adam, and this video I want to talk about what you need to do in order to uprate your van and get it to that next class, which would be a C1, which this van now currently is. Now if you're thinking about what van to get, if you've got a transporter, a transit, a caddy, I wouldn't worry. You would have to go out your way in order to get them vans over 3.5 ton. So weight shouldn't be an issue, and I wouldn't really consider uprating your van if for a vehicle that size. You don't need to. But if you've done your conversion and you've gone to weigh it and you've realised it's that bit heavy, you're going to need to uprate it. Like what's happened with us, we took it out, we realised it was too heavy, we went and got it weighed. It currently sits at 3.3 ton without anything of ours in there. So if you're doing up your van, you're considering weight after you've already done the conversion inside, like what's happened with us. We got the conversion done inside and then we've realised that it's too heavy. We're now going to go for the uprating of it. There's a few things to consider. Now, if you passed your driving test after January 1st, 1997, you will have to go and get a Cat C1 licence. Now, in order to do that, you have to do a HGV theory test, both your hazard perception and the theory, and you will have to go and do a test. Now, the test was a 3-day event. I had to spend the first 2 days driving around, and then the 3rd day was the test day. And I did it in a long wheelbase Sprinter, which was a twin axle, which was similar size to this, but there was 2 wheels on the back instead of the one like this. Now, when I was considering uprating the van, I thought I needed new shock absorbers, I needed new leaf springs, and I needed airbag suspension. I thought I needed all of it. In a matter of fact, you don't need all of it. All you need to do is get the suspension sorted out at the back. And all you need is air suspension in order for it to qualify to be uprated to a C1. So if you're trying to do it as cheaply as possible, you've got to consider the fact that you might need your license, like I did, and the air suspension. You can get your shock absorbers done, you can get the leaf springs done, but if you don't need to, or if you haven't got the funds to do it, you really just need to consider getting the air suspension done. Now, also you need load rated wheels and tyres, which we already had on the van before, which wasn't a cost to uprate it. But if you haven't got load rated tyres and wheels, then you will need to fork out for that as well. When I initially decided to do this, I contacted the garage that I usually go to, which with having a vehicle of this size, you need to go to a specific garage. Not all garages will see vehicles this size, and they actually advised me against going for air suspension because I was just going to buy them on eBay. You can get them quite relatively cheap for a few £100, but so they advised me against it because they said it could potentially snap the chassis of your van. Don't know if I'm saying that right. I can't get my words out. So they actually advised me against that. So I thought I best not do that. I'll look at getting shock absorbers and leaf springs in order to get it uprated. Now, I also contacted a company, SV Tech. They deal with uprating of vehicles, and when speaking to them, they advised me to go down the route of getting air suspension because it will be needed in order for it to be uprated and classed as a C1 that would put the vehicle through the category of getting it done. So I went on the search for somewhere. Now, if you're down south, there is a company called On Air Suspension. They can work with getting airbag suspensions fitted to the vehicle. But if you're up north like me, I went to SAP and in Doncaster, and they were brilliant, great guys. So instead of going for a cheaper version from eBay, I decided to go down the route and go for VB air suspension, semi-air suspension to be precise, and I've got it just on the rear axles. Now they can work separately, so one side can actually be higher than the other, and And in fact, it has increased the ride quality. It does actually feel better on the road, and you can lower the back end or raise it if you're needing to get onto a ferry. So I want to show you what the air suspension looks like and how it works. Upgraded. And when you get these fitted by SAP, a chassis reinforcement, so I don't have to worry about that cracking. And like I say, I did not need to change the leaf springs or the shock absorbers. So like I said, the company that deals with actually putting the air suspension on was, for me, was SAP. They were brilliant. Like I say, VB air suspension's very reputable, and they're actually made in Germany. And there's only 2 places in England that are registered to fit them, and that is SAP in Doncaster and On Air Suspension, which is down south. If you are going to go down the route of putting some air suspension on, I would consider using a reputable manufacturer like VB, as they come with 5 years warranty. If there's any issues, I can just go straight back to the dealership where I had them fitted. And I did talk about SV Tech. SV Tech is the company that deals with actually sending you out all the documents to send to the DVLA to have it re-registered as a C1, and all the paperwork you need. So they're the 2 companies you deal with. The SAP, for getting all the suspension fitted, the labour, everything, the total cost that came to was £1,700, and SV Tech, to get all the paperwork done and all the logistics side of things done, that cost £350. So grand total of £2,100 just for that, for the van getting sorted. And if you're needing the license as well, add on another 1,200 quid for that. Now, one of the things you get from SV Tech is this, your new weight class. I haven't actually taken the wrapper off of this, but your new weight class. And now this van is legally allowed to drive 4,050 kilograms, which is great. Now we don't have to worry about size and weight, and we can pack the van up, and that is no issue now. There is still a bit of an issue. Obviously, we can't go crazy on packing the van up, but let me show you how the air suspension actually works. So this is where you control your air suspension. They can work simultaneously or separately. And obviously, yeah, and to inflate, you would push up, and to deflate, you would push down. As you can hear, it works off a compressor, which is currently situated underneath the passenger seat. I think it's a brilliant system. And that area wasn't getting used for anything else, and it just makes it look a bit more cooler, I think. But yeah, so there you go. That's how you work the VB air suspension. Now, if you found this video useful at all, give us a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Every subscription helps these small channels. See you later.